This is Out Loud and Laughing.
What is up, chosen fam? Welcome back to the studio. In the world of entertainment and brands, there's a story you see, and then there's a story someone crafted for you to see. Today, we are sitting down with the man behind the curtain, a strategist, a storyteller, and a powerhouse of LGBTQ plus visibility. He's the founder of Heart Spade PR, a Brooklyn native who went from running successful music blogs to building a public relations empire that actually centers queer voices. Please welcome to the pod the incredible Matt Gross. Hi, Matt.
Hello. Oh my goodness, that was quite an introduction. Thank you.
Hey, you
I've
do the
never used
work.
the
We
term
just show
empire to
up.
describe what I do.
Listen, you are building an empire and we love it. So, welcome to the pod, Matt. We're super
Thank you.
excited to have you on.
Thank you very
Tell
much.
us. Yeah, of course. Before we dive into all the good stuff, of course, we want to hear how you're doing and tell us how life has been treating you these days.
I mean, the world is on fire, obviously. So
Hmm.
it is an interesting time to do PR. I mean, it's honestly felt this way for obviously many years now. So, you know, uh, I speak to a lot of my clients about this, and I think there is a need for queer joy to be just to be out in the universe, considering that we're all kind of doom scrolling and going through it and so on and so forth. So I'm doing well. I'm happy to say that things are very well in my little bubble here in New York and in my little bubble of working with, all these incredible queer entertainers. But, sometimes when I do close the inbox or close the laptop for the day, and it's just like, wow, when you think Tuesday isn't going to be worse than Wednesday, Thursday is worse than Wednesday. You know what I mean? Just keeps going, going. So I think the what I'm trying to say is that it's just a matter of persevering and soldiering through and lifting up the voices that I work with that I am passionate about and want their stories out there to give people some hope, some laughs, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you are doing the work. We also agree with lifting up voices. Before we jump into, like John said, can you tell us a little bit about Heart Spade PR? Like, you are a Brooklyn native, you still live in Brooklyn, you started this PR company. Give us a little bit of insight about the company.
Well, let me tell you something. I never thought it would just be me running the show, like a
Yeah.
one person operation. It kind of accidentally felt like this. I'll give you kind of the summary of the last 20 years in the 60-second version and then kind of Heart Spade PR. So I graduated with a marketing degree. I left the New York area for school. I went to school in the DC area, came back, worked at an LGBTQ magazine for quite some time where I wore many hats. I was doing ad sales, I was doing the socials, uh, I don't even know. If someone didn't pay their bill, I was representing the company in court. Like it was a lot of
Right.
stuff. Um, Simultaneously, I was running those music blogs that you mentioned. I had a little outlet outside of my day job to kind of keep me going. And those actually kind of took off, and we could discuss that later on. But that was a nice little outlet for me to curate shows, DJ, blog, make friends, photograph stuff, organize events. And then I had just reached my limit at the magazine where it was too many hats to wear and too much disrespect. And I wound up getting a job at a small PR firm in Brooklyn, where I was hired specifically to do music PR. And I started that in the early 2010s, I would say. Everything was going swimmingly. Pandemic hit. 75% of the staff was laid off. So I did not know what to do. I thought maybe this was a chance to kind of um, pivot, as they say, into something else. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I took a deep breath and I was like, listen, I have all these amazing contacts, writers and so on. I have all these clients that I've worked with. Um, and I never signed a non-compete. So, so
There
I
you go.
reached out to the clients that I had been working with extensively over 6, 7 year span. And I said, listen, why don't you come on board with me for this new venture? It's just going to be me. We obviously get along. And I gotta say, a lot of them said yes in one form or another, whether they were putting out music or touring. I mean, obviously, 2020 was a challenging year, and so was 21, and so is every year now. But I kind of I don't know. I kind of accidentally fell into this, and kind of built a little niche. And pretty much Heart Spade PR is it's just me, and the clients I represent, they're almost exclusively queer. I would say 95%, but, it's queer entertainers, visual artists, performance artists, little bit of queer literature, cabaret, pop culture. I work with some very recognizable names and some names that are up and coming, um, and so on. So, yeah.
Matt, thank you for sharing so much about that trajectory. There's so much we could all learn from that master class of your hustle that you just shared.
It's a
A lot
hustle.
of people
Yeah.
sometimes, a lot of people think though that you need this massive corporate machine behind you to make an impact. It sounds like you've sort of found this yourself. So, was there a moment during those early blogger days or the days at the boutique firms where when you realized, wait, I could do this better and I could do this with more heart? Like, what did that separation or what did that migration feel like for you?
I've always kind of been the person who, not that I'm not a team player, but I know that when I put my hand on something, I'm gonna put all of my energy, all of my passion into it, and that applies to the blogging days, that applies to all the different hats I wore at the magazine, and it applies to now. So, I I prefer working like this, and, it's funny, most of the acts I work with will hire me directly, um, artists, acts, so on, institutions. But whenever there is a corporate entity involved, I have to say that they just make things more challenging for the sake of making things more
Mm.
challenging, or in some instances, don't understand this space like I intimately know this space. So if I suggest, a certain outlet for my client to be interviewed by, or a certain marketing idea I have that would obviously be a hit, or a social media idea, it has to go through 26 people until it is approved. And it's just so much simpler when it's myself, the client, maybe we have an assistant of some sort to deal with, and it's bing, bang, boom. That's how I like to work. So, I I love not being, kind of, tied to anything corporate. I was thinking about this the other day. When I graduated with a marketing degree, and I remember these courses my senior year where they were pretty much telling me, and the whole class, okay, you for a business meeting you have to wear this kind of suit, and for the business dinner the fork has to be over here, and all these rules. And it's just so funny because at this point, like, I'm curating what I wanna wear, how I wanna present, um, and I just kinda feel like all of that business jargon is, like, unnecessary if you are good at your job and you don't wanna be part of the machine, you know?
Listen, my day job is part of the machine, Matt, and I will tell you the red tape is real, and I agree
Mhm,
with you. It is approver after you do 40 meetings before you get to an approval, and so
mhm,
I agree. You kind of just get right to the point. I kind of want to deep dive a little bit though into the actual name though, because I love that
mhm.
you named it Heart Spade PR, especially
Yep,
like when PR is kind of notoriously like high stress, right? And
yeah.
so like you built this brand, it feels very personal, very values driven. So, like, how do you protect your own peace and personal life? And how'd this name kind of come? And is it because you want to protect your own peace?
It's funny, I'll talk about them separately because the peace
Yeah.
element has nothing to do with the name. When I was running those 2 music blogs, the first one was with a couple friends of mine, and it was called The Music Slut. And then
Love it.
and the second one was called A Heart Is a Spade. The first one I ran with a friend of mine, things went very sour, and I wound up starting, A Heart Is a Spade, maybe in 2009. And, when one site ended and the other one began, the second one was just me and my partner at the time. We were trying to come up with a name because I wanted to start a new site immediately after things soured with the first one. And A Heart Is a Spade slash Heart Spade PR is a reference to a 90s song by a British band called Elastica. Song's called Connection. It had like a little bit of a US moment. I think it was a bigger hit internationally. So it's literally just a reference to that, and I was like, "Easy, 1, 2, 3." So that just kinda came about over the course of a weekend while I was building this site with an ex. Um, and then, keeping my peace is a whole other thing. Like, um, it's challenging because there's never
Mm.
real this isn't a 9 to 5 kinda job, and, this is also not, every I'm dealing with a lot of different personalities. Not just the clients, but a lot of the writers have their own unique stuff going on. So, it's a lot to juggle at times, and you know, I like taking a little trip to Palm Springs. I like taking a bath sometimes. A little morning time away from the computer. A little lavender oil and a deep breath. So, like little moments. I also live right by a park, so that has been helpful, and I've been trying to utilize that a little more as well. Um, yeah, just kind of distancing a little bit because there was a moment in time where the concept of someone texting you after hours or even emailing after a certain time was just like, oh, don't bother someone. Now there are no barriers. Like everyone, you're just have to be available at all times. So it is challenging to keep peace. I don't have
I
like
mean,
the solution. Yeah.
well, no, and you shouldn't, but as long as you know how to protect your own peace, that's important. But it just
Yeah.
sounds to me when you're talking like almost like when a wedding planner has to deal with one bride, you have like
Mhm.
30 brides at any given moment. And that
Yeah.
sounds shitty and hard and
Yeah.
challenging, but also probably kind of exciting.
You know what, though? I have to say the answer is yes. It's 30 brides all at the same time. But I'm at a point now because I'm working for myself that if I everyone I work with, I really get along with. I mean, some people I'm working with for over a decade at this point, so, like, we are, like, family, basically. Um, I I can tell on a call within 5 minutes if it's gonna happen or not, and that's partially because of, what I could envision a client receiving in terms of press, but also if their expectations are out of control, I remember having a call with someone a few years back who had no following, never toured, had reference points for where they wanted their career to go. And on the phone, they were telling me, okay, so we'll do Jimmy Fallon, then you'll get me in a New Yorker piece, and then we'll do Vogue. And I was thinking to myself, like, it's not gonna happen out of thin air. Like, I've achieved all of those goals for my clients, but after X amount of time, after X amount of fame. So,
Wow, Matt, that sounds like you know what you're doing over there, but you've also worked with some incredible names. You lean heavily into this LGBTQ advocacy, and we're seeing a lot of rainbow washing these days. And, for those who don't understand the whole rainbow washing trend, it's like where these brands show up every June and July and they vanish once Pride's over. And so, as a queer man like yourself leading the strategy, how do you hold these companies' feet to the fire and the people that you work with? Like, how do you make sure that our chosen family is actually being served and not just marketed to? Is that part of your
yeah, I mean,
uh,
it's a good question.
mission there?
I am immersed in, all things queer 24/7, 365. So it's frustrating when someone will come in and try and use us, so to speak, for that month. Um, I had a client for many, many years that worked with various queer visual artists, and it was a nonprofit. And it's just so funny, when supporting LGBTQ folks is, um, trendy or when a certain president is in office, they will give money, and then vice versa. It go just as soon as the money comes in, the money disappears from some of these big corporations, and it's wild to witness. So, I don't know if I personally hold feet to the fire, but I definitely see it happening in real time. And that, the money that goes towards grants, the money that goes towards sponsorships, the money that supports certain tours, it is wild how certain companies, big and small, will uh, so quickly change their viewpoints to win favor with whoever's currently in government, and it just I hate it. I don't know if I answered correctly, but like that's just kind of how I feel. It's very
Preach.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is disappointing. We're almost like a check the box in some ways with some companies, right? And so it
Hmm.
feels like they're just trying to do it more for themselves, less about for us. And so that's where John and I get frustrated with this whole thing. It's like, yeah, absolute. You put a rainbow out every June, but what about the other 11 months where we still exist and we're still people in this world,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Agree.
So
Agree.
What kind of what kind of opportunities have you found for Heart Spade PR to advocate? Like, I know that I'm sure your work spans many more things than just things in the LGBTQ space, but have there been any sort of like highlight moments for your PR agency that you could speak to about,
In terms
in
of
the LGBTQ space? Working directly PRing the LGBTQIA space, like, is there anything specific there that you can talk to?
I think I actually would reference again this nonprofit that I worked with for many years because they were getting, it was a gritty, and it still exists, kind of a gritty, uh, um, uh, lo-fi, low budget type of group of queers and trans folks that are making it happen. And I think working with them, and to be perfectly blunt, I work with them for a significantly reduced rate because I believed in their mission and also realized they didn't have the money that some of my other clients have. So I think I like taking on those projects that are just um, DIY, and everybody is working their butts off. Um, but you know what? That also applies to even some of the bigger names I work with. Even some of these big tours that I handle, these big drag tours, it is a small group of folks that are passionate about it, that are making it happen on a larger scale. So, um, yeah, that's just kind of I like working with like-minded people in in that regard, specifically in our community.
I just wanted to double click on that. I like that you bring up the sort of more grassroots efforts where it's not so much driven by mass amounts of money. It's more effort and heart. And it was taking my mind to this idea of as brands sort of lean into like connecting with their audiences more from a PR perspective, it seems like those who are like in the grassroots space who are leading with more heart, sometimes it's like easier to tell those stories than to like sort of try to makeshift one from a brand that exists out in the world. So I love working with the grassroots folks as well.
I agree. I mean, I do as well, and also I think it'd be strange for me if, let's say, I don't know, Hilton Hotels or someone reached out to me and said, you know, "Make us cool with the gays." Like, I just that's a whole thing, and also I know it's not, sincere, and I can't do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true.
Matt, given you've been working in this space for so long, what are some of the projects you're most proud of?
Good question. Let me mention the acts I've been working with for a really long time. I've been working with Isaac Mizrahi around his cabaret shows for over a decade now. Um, his shows at the Cafe Carlisle, this legendary cabaret spot here in New York that I did the press for many years pre-pandemic, and now um, I work with certain artists on an individual basis. Um, and he's obviously amazing, and in addition to his shows at the Carlisle, I also work with his shows at 54 Below when he goes on tour, and then other little projects. Like last year, he put all of his archival fashion pieces online for the first time, um, and they're all like one of a kind and amazing. So I worked with him on that launch. So that's a great one. So outside of Isaac, I've been working with Jinx, Monsoon, and Ben de la Creme on the Jinx and De La Holiday tour for the last almost decade, including the holiday special they put out in 2020 when they couldn't tour. And that's been a really special one because that is one that where it really feels like family, with the dancers, with the cast and crew, with Ben and Jinx. That's a really special one, and everyone
We
else
just love the
behind
2
the
of them
scenes.
together too. The 2 of them together are amazing.
Amazing,
Like, let's just be
amazing.
hon yeah.
So I love them. I work on and off with John Lloyd Young, who won pretty much every award possible for Jersey Boys. Um, my goodness, it's a long list. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
that's just
busy.
some highlights. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because you do work with a lot of different people, which is super exciting. But I have to imagine, like, at some point, like, looking back at your younger self, Matt, like, what would you tell the version of Matt then of who he was gonna be now?
It's a good question. One of my earliest memories is actually going to flea markets with my parents and buying bootleg cassette tapes of Tina Turner, Michael Jackson, Tony Braxton. Yeah. So, I maybe it's not too surprising that all these years later, I am still somehow involved in the entertainment,
Yes.
landscape. So, yeah.
Oh, that brings me
But I
back
wouldn't have
all of those
imagined this.
things.
I mean, I really never thought that I'd be kind of running my own show. Like I said, I kind of fell into this, and I think it was always kind of meant to be. So, I'm thrilled. I mean, honestly, I'm happier than I've ever been, and I am more comfortable than I've ever been in many regards, and more confident than I've ever been. So, I think also part of that is age. Once you hit a certain number that begins with 4.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yes. Preach, Matt. Oh, man. Thanks for that, Matt. We also have a little bit of chaos that we like to do here at Out Loud and Laughing, a little game that we do with all of our guests.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's
Let's do it.
called This or That. I'm glad you're ready. We've tailored this one specifically for you though, and we're
Okay.
calling this one This or That, the Heart Spade edition. Are you
Okay.
ready? It's time for another round of This or That, the unhinged get to know you game.
I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna kick it off. Uh Scruff or smooth? What's your preference?
Ooh, I gotta say, usually smooth actually. I feel like when I am kissing my partner and there's scruff, sometimes it irritates my skin. So I'm more of a smooth situation. Yeah, yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Okay, we always ask this sports question, Matt. If you're playing baseball, are you the pitcher or the catcher in the game?
I gotta say, lately I prefer kind of being the referee, so to speak.
Okay, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Hey,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
go. I love that.
And there have been moments in my life where it's been more pitcher or more catcher, but these days it's more you know, a different
Still
kind of role.
sporty.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you looking for the exclusive scoop or the viral moment?
It's so funny because I had a conversation with a colleague of mine recently because the landscape of PR has changed so much recently. Whereas I'm kind of old school in that I want a big newspaper article. I want an NPR deep dive. I want, a TV interview where they have the full hour. But what's happening now is, it's what you scroll and see, and it's those quick podcast moments. It's those quick TikToky interview on the street type thing. So the landscape has changed. I think in my heart, though, it's more this. I guess the first part of that, the scoop or the
The
larger
scoop.
piece than the viral moment, because the viral moment can just come and go, and it might be amazing to get 200,000 hits on something, but is that going to be, I don't know, a long lasting kind of thing?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you prefer a chest or a butt on a guy? And
But
remember, we're in the heated rivalry of it all. So which
definitely,
one?
but definitely, it's always been that. Yeah.
It's always been that.
It's always been that
Mhm.
before and after heated rivalry.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
it. Are you a shower or a bath guy?
I would say, definitely more of a shower person, but like I mentioned earlier, like I think for
Yeah.
me, the bath concept is more like a timeout moment, whereas shower is more necessity type thing. But the older I get, the more I've gotten into like, give me a bath bomb and a bubble bath and like a candle and all that nonsense that I always thought was so silly. Now I love it. So
It's
a little
because
bit of
time is
both.
becoming more precious, right?
Yes.
John and I are bath people too, but we always get weird answers. Some people are like anti-bath to the
And
core.
no, no, no.
Hysterical.
Okay, from a PR perspective, because I'm actually interested in this, would you rather circle back via email or just do a quick sync on the phone?
I think email. Yeah. Yeah, I think email. I always feel
Documentation.
it at this point now in 2026 to call someone out of nowhere is like a little forward. I don't know. I
Mm,
also get the sense, listen, if I've reached out to someone 2 or 3 times and they're not interested in what I'm pitching, I let it go. It's like there's no point bothering someone beyond that.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay, so imagine this, Matt. It's a Saturday night, okay? You've had a very long week. Are you looking forward to a red carpet gala or a sweatpants sweepstakes on the couch?
I would say lately more towards the latter, but I
Yep.
listen, I'm a Gemini, so I kind of feel like a lot of times my answers, not just for this section, but in life, are yin and yang, left and right. So, yes, there are some nights where I want that. And then maybe on a Friday I want that, but on Saturday I want to be home, kind of thing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Same. Okay, last one. Do you prefer brutal honesty or a strategic white lie?
Oh, that's probably the toughest one of this section. Let me think for a sec. I actually think a little bit of a white lie. Like,
Mm, I know. It
yeah.
softens the blow.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny because with my clients, I am brutally honest, and I would never lie to them, but on the receiving end, a little bit of sugarcoating something, it's weird, I'm, like, sensitive about certain things, and,
Yeah.
yeah, give it to me with a little bit of, I don't know, something to soften the blow, yeah.
Kiss me after. I got
Yes,
you.
exactly, exactly,
Punch me, then kiss me.
exactly.
At first they're sweet, sour, and then they're sweet. Oh man. Hey Matt, listen, I just wanted to say first and foremost on behalf of myself and Brian, it was really nice meeting you today and thank you
Yes.
for sharing all of your stories, but also thank you for being so open and making sure our community stories are being told with integrity and most importantly, heart. See what I did there?
Thank you.
It's been a blast, total blast having you as part of our chosen family today.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. Like I said, I don't do too many of these, so
Yeah.
I'm usually the person behind the scenes, behind the camera, behind setting things up. So it's nice to talk about it because I don't get to do it very often.
We agree. Before we let you go, though, Matt, where can people find you? Follow Heart Spade PR and keep up with all the magic that you're making.
Probably the simplest way is just go to heartspadepr.com and you'll see a little bit more about me and also all my clients. And then I'm most active on Instagram, Heartspade PR. And then my
Yeah.
personal Instagram is Matt Heartspade if you want to see what I do outside of promoting my clients. Yeah.
Y'all heard it, everyone. Go follow Matt's PR firm and change your algorithm. He is the one that's making sure the world sees us clearly. Remember, everyone, stay authentic, stay loud, and keep laughing. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.